One second, everybody. Hello, welcome everyone. It is very nice to see you all today. Great. All right, so it would help me if you would put your name on your under your face there. The way you do that, the way you change it is if you hold your mouse over your face, there'll be 3 little dots in the top right corner. Click on that and then click where it says rename. Especially until I get to know you guys. All right. Wonderful. I see some familiar faces. Welcome back. I see some new faces. Welcome to class. All right. So let me just double check here and make sure we have everyone here. Okay, there's Abigail's here. Audrey. Is Audrey here? There's Audrey. Cora, Daniel. Cora, Daniel. How about Evie and Jaslyn? There's Jaslyn. All right, there we are. All right, so I know you are not Christina Mintz. So are you Miles? All right, Miles, I'm going to change your name. It'll automatically change back to Christina. There we go, after you close it. So anybody else, look underneath your face. If that's not your name, please change it. If you don't know how to change it, put your hand up and I'll change it for you. I just want to make sure we all get to know each other really well here. All right, wonderful. Well, welcome to zoology. I'm so excited that you guys are all here. My name is Dr. Joseph. Usually students shorten that to Dr. J. Either is fine with me. Whatever you would like to call me is fine. So I am your zoology teacher for this year, and I'm really excited. I think it's so much fun to learn about the animal kingdom. And that's what we're going to be doing in the first half of life science this year. So let me share my screen with you. Hold on one second. There we go. Now, everybody tell me if you can see, tell me if you cannot see that elephant picture. All right. So what I want you to do now is find the chat box. So does everybody know how to find the chat box? I know Audrey does because she sent me a message. All right, terrific. So take a look at where it says everyone there at the bottom of the chat box. When you're sending a message to the whole group, make sure that says everyone. But if you click the little down arrow, then you'll see individuals and my name will be on there. So if you want to send a message just to me, click where it says Dr. Joseph. All right. Now, I really prefer when we have a live class like this that we talk to each other, that you speak rather than typing. But if you can't, that's fine. You can always type your answers. I think we get to know each other a little better if we speak. Plus, if you raise your hand and you have to type out your answer, it takes quite a while in order for the text and it holds the class up. So make sure that you speak whenever you possibly can. All right, wonderful, great. All right, we have a couple of business bits of information I want to go over. I'm not going to spend time today going over how to use Canvas. Instead, I put a video tutorial in the class resources page. So if you're new to Canvas, please make sure that you watch that tutorial. You can find it right here. This is what our homepage looks like. Right here is a classroom resources link. When you click on that, this page right here will open and you can see right there how to navigate in Canvas. Please make sure you look at all these things, but especially the how to navigate if you are a new AIM Academy student. All right. Another thing that we have right within Canvas that I just kind of realized a lot of students don't know about is what's called Immersive Reader. So it reads what's on the page to you. Now, it only shows text. It doesn't show the pictures, doesn't show any videos. It's just text. So you might want to split your screen in order to be able to have it read to you and look at the picture at the same time. I'll tell you how to do that in just a couple minutes. Now, Most of your reading for our course here is in the book, Animal. And Immersive Reader's not going to read you what's in the textbook. But I do. I put a lot of recordings of narrations in the pages. You can use them if you want to. If you'd prefer to read yourself, that's fine. If you want help with the narrations, with reading, pronouncing the words, then use that. And quizzes, of course, don't have Immersive Reader. All right. Everybody's got their, almost everybody here has their webcam on. It's necessary for you to always start class with your webcam on. That way I know that you are who you say you are. It's a safety feature that AIM Academy requires. The use of the webcam the rest of the time, I think, is really important. Once again, we get to know each other if we are looking at each other in a way that we don't if we're not. So if you possibly can, please leave your camera on. If you have a reason that you can't leave your camera on, then you can have your parent text me and let me know and you'll be excused from that. All right. Let's see here. Here's a couple really important things. Always make sure that you work your way down the assignment list, not skipping any assignments. Please don't jump around. One lesson builds on the ones that came before. So you need to have that information. Use good spelling and grammar in your assignments. We'll talk about those later, about why that's important in a future class. I'll go over why that's important for the very beginning. I'm not going to take off any points, but we'll have a lesson where I teach you how to use the good spelling and grammar for my class, and then I'll start keeping track of spelling and grammar. Make sure that you click the submit button, the one that says submit quiz. I have a lot of students at the very beginning of the year who don't do that. They do all the quiz work and then they just leave. They don't submit it and they've lost all their work. So make sure that you don't lose your work. And if you have any questions, make sure that you contact me before you submit the assignment. Once you submit your assignments, the computer grades a lot of them. So the answers are already given to you and I can't give you a second chance. So make sure if you have a question, you contact me before you submit your assignment. And I usually get back to you within a couple of hours, certainly within a day. All right. We have this thing called AI that is sort of taking over the world now. AI is turning up in all kinds of computer applications and programs, and it is changing education. It's changing what school looks like. So one thing that's important, you have to be over the age of 13 to use it. I know a lot of you guys are under the age of 13. Even with parents' permission, you can't use ChatGPT and a lot of the other AI programs if you're under the age of 13. If you are between 13 and 18, you can use it with permission from your parents. Now, what's AI? AI is like having an expert in any field sitting right beside you. If you have anything that you want to learn about, you can type it into a ChatGPT or other AI program and it'll help you learn. It'll teach you, what is zoology? It'll give you a list of things that zoology includes. So that's a really good way to learn. Using something like ChatGPT or any other AI program can help you to learn the content, but you can't use it to give you answers. First of all, I will tell you it's wrong. Some of the times it gives you a wrong answer. But the most important reason not to use it is that you're not really learning. If you just type something in ChatGPT and you copy and paste it, you're not really learning anything. So you guys are old enough that your word has to mean something. When you say this is mine, that needs to truly be yours. I need to be able to trust you. Using ChatGPT isn't yours. It isn't your answer at all. The same goes for copying and pasting something from websites. We don't want to do that either. So AIM Academy this year has a program that is right in Canvas called Plagiarism Check. And I know that a lot of times students don't mean to plagiarize. Plagiarism means taking something that doesn't belong to you and making it look like it's your own work, like copying, pasting from Wikipedia as an answer. That's called plagiarism. And students don't always know that that's not okay to do. So this plagiarism check will help you learn. It'll show you what's okay and what's not. If you, once you submit written work, so this isn't for quizzes, this is for things like the written tests or any essays or projects, things like a poem or a short story or things that you write. You submit that, and then plagiarism check comes back and tells you what percentage of your assignment has been copied and pasted, is plagiarized. Then you can correct it. You can say, okay, now I know what plagiarism is. I won't do that again. Now you write it yourself, then you submit it to me. So you'll always be given 2 attempts for every one of those written kind of assignments. The first one goes to plagiarism check. The second one then comes to me. Micah.
Let's say like we need to like copy a quote, and then the plagiarism check thinks like we copied it because we have copied a quote. Is that going to be okay, or?
Yeah, that's going to be okay as long as you give credit to the person that you're quoting from. Plagiarism check will tell you and me that that's been plagiarized, but I'll be able to look and say, oh, well, that's just a quote. So I won't take off any points for that. It's a very good question, Micah. Thank you for asking that. Guys, if you ever have any questions, ask. Odds are pretty good somebody else has the same question. So please ask questions as if you have them. Okay, so another really important thing is a lot of you guys share computers with siblings or your parents. If you do, make sure you log out at the end of each session. So a lot of times, especially at the beginning of the year, somebody might log in and try to do their work, and there's no button to submit their work at the end. Like, I can't submit my quiz. I don't see the submit quiz button. Odds are pretty good if that's what's happening. You're logged into your parent account. So if you see that, if there's a problem, log out and then log back in using your username and password, and that will fix that. All right. And like I just said, help me. If you guys have any questions, ask, especially if you see any typos or any errors in the lessons, please let me know. It helps me to correct them for the future. All right. In this class, we have 2 sections because we want to keep our class sizes small enough. So imagine if we had twice as many students in this class. That would be hard to be able to keep track and for it to be beneficial to you. So we have 2 sections. The only difference is the day of the live class. Otherwise, they're identical. The live classes are identical. The lessons that you do during the week are identical. In general, it's best if you stick to the Tuesday class. You get to know each other a lot better if you always come to the same class. But if you ever have something happen, let's say you have a doctor's appointment or some kind of an emergency comes up and you can't come to class, you know ahead of time, I can't be there on Tuesday. You can always come on Monday. You can come on the other day. It's the same link. It's right there on the homepage. Just, you know, you don't even have to let me know. Just come to that one if that works. All right. So you guys will notice that there are due dates for all of the lessons. So let me drag this in and I will show you what I'm talking about here. Sorry, it's not. Here we go. All right. So right here, if I click on assignments right here, let it load. Right here, you can see that there are due dates in these lessons. August 28th, that's tomorrow. August 29th, August 30th. Those due dates are important, but they're also pretty flexible. So that what that means is I don't take off points for lessons that are submitted after the due date. I give you full credit. I would rather you take your time and submit something after the due date than rush and try to get done and not do a good job at the beginning in order to meet the due dates. However, I do think it's important that you turn things in by the due date. Well, why? If they're still worth full credit, why? There's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, if you let things go too long, you get overwhelmed. It can get to be frustrating to see that you're really far behind. I don't want you to feel that kind of stress. The second reason is these live classes have to do with what you're learning in the live class, in the daily lessons. So for example, when you're reading about insects in the daily lesson, we'll have a live class about insects. It really helps if you keep up with the due date so that you will understand better. To help to motivate you to stay caught up, to stay with the due dates, I give extra credit when you turn things in by the due dates. So what I do is at the end of each semester, before I give the semester grades, I go back and I count how many assignments you turned in on time by the due dates. Then I give you 1/4 of an extra credit point for each of those assignments. It's worth it. That can add up to a lot of points over the course of this semester. All right. I also keep track of the attendance at the live classes like this one. You will be given a little bit of extra credit at the end for the classes that you attend, and you'll be given a little bit of extra credit for classes you participate in. So if you ask questions, if you answer questions, if you participate, then you will be able to get a little bit of extra credit as well. Now, if you do have to come late to class or you have to leave early, that's fine with me too. I know some of you have other classes right before that might run after. Just come in quietly. Don't come in and say, oh, sorry, I'm late, everybody. I had a math class before this one, because we're already in class. We don't want to disturb the flow of the class. So just come and then leave quietly the same way. All right, Micah has a question. For the Monday and Tuesday sections, are they at the same time? No, they're not. So the Monday section is at 1 p.m. Eastern time. The Tuesday section is at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So we intentionally make, when there's two sections in a class, we intentionally make them at different times to make it more accessible to everyone. All right. Those of you who had classes with me before know that I like Kahoot. I think Kahoot is a fun way to review and have fun at the same time. Sometimes we'll use it to introduce new topics. Most of the time it's just fun. It's things that I'll have ready for the end of class if there is time. Now, in order to play a Kahoot, you have to be able to split your screen or use a cell phone or use a computer. Usually I'll let you know if we're definitely going to be having a Kahoot, but there's almost always a chance of one if we get done with class early and we have time for a Kahoot. So I'm going to show you how to split your screen. Once again, here we have the screen. See this little square right here? Jaslyn, I'll walk you through it. We're going to play it right now so you'll learn. All right, so in order to split your screen, you click on this little square right here. See how that made the window go smaller? Well, now I can resize the window by just grabbing a hold of the edges of it. Then I open another one by clicking on this right here. That plus sign gives me a new tab. I left click and grab the new tab and put it over here. And now I have two screens that are open at the same time. One can be our class and the other will be Kahoot. So in order to play Kahoot on this one here, I go to www.kahoot.it. And that will open up a page for a game pin. All right, I'll give you the game pin. So we're going to play now a very short 7-question quiz just so that you see it. When you log in, you can put your real name, you can make up a name, doesn't really matter because this is not for grading. The Kahoots that we play in class are just for fun. All right, Abigail.
I don't see the place to make your screen smaller.
So let me walk you through it again. Can you see what we've got right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so if this is the screen, right up in the top right corner, there's a little square. There's a line, an X, and a square in the middle. You see that? Click on that little square, and that makes your window smaller. Now, to open a new one, you just click the plus sign up here where the tabs are, and then drag it over like that. Okay, so we are going to do a Kahoot now. We're going to do one that is about lab safety, and I will drag that in so you guys can see it right now. So you go to www.kahoot.it. And here we go. Here's your game pin. So type in www.kahoot.it. Somebody said that you can't do it because of web blockers. Some of your computers may have this blocked. If that's the case, you can still participate. You just aren't going to be in the game, but you can still kind of play along in your own mind. You know, see if you know the answers. Quiz yourself, in other words. All right, fishy boy. Our game pin is 639. I'll type it into the chat box. 6393038. And it is www. Oh, I just sent it to Bastian. I'm sorry. I didn't send it to everybody. There we go. Now it's to everyone. It is www.kahoot.it. Okay, looks like almost everybody's in. Give it another 10 seconds and then we'll play. Some people really love Kahoots and other people really don't like them. So I don't use them a lot, but I do use them a little bit. And there's a couple of other games that we'll play too.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
3 more seconds. All right. All right, Bastian, I know you know how to do this. Are you having trouble? All right, 5, 4, 3, inky old gnat, 2, 1. All right, so this game pin will always be on the screen. So if you get kicked out of Kahoot or you have to join late, you can always do that. All right, so I have a couple of different ways that you can ask questions just so you get an idea of what Kahoot is. Now, as you enter your answer, whoever answers first gets the most points. So try not to take too long. It is helpful, but not necessarily important to follow lab safety rules. True or false? It is false. It is false. Yeah, that's fine. If you can't get into Kahoot, you can always send me your answer to show me that you know it. That's a good way to do it. Well done. All right, so that answer is false. It is always important to follow lab safety rules. All right, so Inky Old Gnat got there first, but all these people these are the top 5 on the board who got it correct. Now, more of you might have gotten it correct, but they only ever have the top 5 on the leaderboard here. And Inky Old Gnat got there just a little bit before Fishy Boy. Here's our second question. Now, this one is worth twice as many points. Which of the following should not be disposed of in the sink? Lemon juice, colored water, sand, baking soda dissolved in water. Sand. Yeah, your parents would not be happy if you threw sand away in the sink. All right, see the leaderboard changed just a little bit there now. Here's our next question. All right, so this one, you choose more than one answer. Choose all the answers that are correct. What does the girl in the picture need to do to comply with lab safety rules? More than one. Yeah, she needs to tie her hair back and take off that loose scarf. That could be a danger in a lab. Excellent. Let's see how we are now. Donald Trump moved into 3rd place. All right, here's our number 4. If you spill something during a lab, wait until the end of the experiment to clean it up. True or false? That is false. You want to clean it up right away. All right, here we go. Let's see. Inky Old Gnat is holding on to the lead. Question 5. This is a puzzle. So you choose them in the correct order. Unscramble the words to form a sentence. All right, so time runs out as the timer counts down. The correct answer is always wear safety glasses, and 10 of you guys got that. All right, now in this one, this is not worth any points. You just drop a pin in the category, one of these at the bottom, the one you know the most about. Fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, or mammals. Which category do you know the most about? Three seconds. All right. Oh, a couple of you guys know a lot about fish. We've got 1 birds, and most everybody knows a lot about mammals. That's really interesting, isn't it? Because there's way more of all the other life forms on our planet than there are mammals, but we know most about them. All right, 1 more, drop a pin. Put a pin in the category you really want to learn about. Same one down here, one of these 5. Fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, or mammals. Look at that, a very nice spread. Excellent. All right, now at the end of Kahoot, there is a podium that tells third, second, and first place. In third place, Evie. Well done, Evie. In second place, Donald Trump. And in first place, who do we have? All right, Inky Old Nat. Inky Old Nat, you want to identify yourself?
Hello.
That's Bastian. Yep, yeah. All right. So, like I said, we will play Kahoot from time to time. And I'd love your feedback to let me know what you think about it. All right, moving on. I like to start my live classes, or at least in some part of the live classes, with some jokes or riddles. So I don't promise that they're good jokes. A lot of them you're going to go, oh, but I like them anyway. And if you ever have any good zoology jokes that you want to share with me, send them to me through Canvas inbox. They may find their way into some of our live classes. All right. Why did the koala get the job? Why did the koala get the job?
Because he hung on. I don't know.
No. Jaslyn's got it the closest. Abigail, you want to try?
Because he had a qualification.
Yeah, he had the necessary qualifications. All right, why was the elephant jealous when the koala got the job? Abigail.
Because she has a good memory.
That's a good answer, but no. Because the elephant thought the koala's qualifications were irrelevant. Irrelevant. How about this one? When should you not trust a carnivore? You guys know what a carnivore is? A meat-eating animal. No, not when there's a car. When he's lying. Don't trust him, he's lying. Yeah, I didn't promise they'd be good ones. I told you. All right, I like this one. The bear said, "This arguing is becoming unbearable." The horse replied, "Indeed, it's making my voice hoarse." And the giraffe called out, "I'm out of here. You all are giraffing me crazy." Yeah. All right. Send me better ones. If you think you can do better, send me some better ones and we'll put them in. All right. So what we're going to be studying this year, what do you guys think? Give me an idea of something. Madison, give me an idea of something that you think we're going to study. Abigail.
Insects.
We are definitely going to be studying about insects. In fact, we're going to learn some basics first, and then the very first animal group that we're going to study are the insects. Yep, so we'll kind of go backwards from the way the book is. So we'll start at the back and work our way to the front. Zoology, yeah, good, Micah. We're going to be studying zoology. That is the name of the course after all. Well, we're going to learn some general information first about all the different animals, like how they behave, how they eat, how they hunt, those kind of things. Then we'll learn about different animal groups. And we're going to learn how they're classified. Yeah, classification is important. So we'll talk about why that's important too in our class. So we can take all the animals on the planet and divide them into two main categories. One category and another category, and all the animals will fit in one of those. The two categories are vertebrates and invertebrates. What does that mean? What does vertebrate mean? Micah.
Something that has a backbone.
Good, very good. So then what would invertebrate mean? Bastian.
It means that it doesn't have a backbone.
Exactly. Invertebrate means it doesn't have a backbone. So we can put all those animals that have a backbone in the vertebrate category. And that is the one that we know the most about, even though invertebrates are by far the dominant life form on our planet. So we'll learn a lot about those invertebrates. All right, now I told you guys if you had a pet that you could show it. We don't have time for a long show and tell, but if you have a pet and it's nearby and you want to hold your pet up and show everybody, you can do that. Especially if anybody has an unusual pet, that would be a good thing to let me know, even if you can't bring it in. Like, if you have a cow for a pet, you clearly can't bring it in, but it would be fun to know. If you, all right, Jaslyn has, oh, a pretty kitty. That is a beautiful cat. Audrey, you have chickens. That's fun. That's fun. Pet crayfish and mantis and the seal. I don't understand. Oh, you mean unusual? Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I think that would be unusual. Yeah, 2 cats and 2 dogs. That's a houseful, JR. That is a houseful. That's okay, no problem. Oh, Paul, look at your puppy. Excellent. Oh, and Lydia has a bunny. Miles, is that a cat? Looks like a cat. It's kind of hard to. Yeah, Madison, I feel the same way about my dog. She's sleeping really soundly over there. You'll see her from time to time. Sometimes she just likes to climb up on my lap while I'm teaching. She'll stick her head up here, but for now she's sleeping. You have dogs, 2 horses, and chickens. Wow, so you guys already know a lot about animals. Some of you that have so many pets and have even 1 pet, you know a lot about animals and animal behavior. So think about your own pet, and or if you don't have a pet, think about other people's pets or other kinds of animals, and think about the answer to this question. Do animals problem solve? What do you think? Do they problem solve? Yeah, I'm seeing some yes. Yeah, yeah. Anybody have any examples of a way that maybe your pet or an animal that you've seen in your yard or out in the wild solves a problem? Lydia.
My dog doesn't like being in a kennel, so then he would always chew out of it, and then we had to like keep buying new ones and try to like tie it all together so he couldn't get out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. An octopus. What an excellent example of an animal that problem solves. Yeah, octopuses are able to open jars in order to get the food out of a jar. They've learned how to unscrew the lid of a jar. Maybe I'll see if I can find a video and show you guys that, because that's pretty cool. Making a note to myself to look for something like that. Yeah, bees are excellent problem solvers. Yeah, they definitely are. Solve the problem of not being able to get in my room by screaming at the top of their lungs till I open the door. Yeah, pets let you know, don't they? They let you know when they're hungry. They let you know when they want to go out. They definitely solve problems by communicating with us. So that's our next one here, is how do they communicate? So we talked about a little bit about that already. Let's talk about how animals in the wild might communicate. Give me an example of an animal out in the wild that would communicate with another member of their own species. So not with a different kind of animal, but with the same. Dolphins. So give me an example of how a dolphin would communicate with another dolphin. Echolocation. Yeah, they use echolocation. They communicate for when there's danger. They'll let each other know with the clicks and the sounds that they make. When there are territorial boundaries that they've got and somebody's coming into their space, they will communicate in that way. Abigail.
Lions will roar to let other lions that's not part of their pride know this is my territory.
Yeah, exactly. Stay out. This is mine. My silkies couldn't find the door, kept running into the wall. And when one of them looked around, they found the door. Yeah. Cats smack each other. Yep. Yep. Crickets. Oh, I love the sound of crickets, Micah. I don't find them annoying at all. I mean, if they go too loud, I suppose, but yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that animals communicate with other animals within their species. What about with other species? How might an animal communicate with a member of a different species of animal? Yeah, they can become bigger. Think about how a bear stands up on its back legs and looks larger. Cats raise the hair up on their back in order to look bigger, to show that they're the boss. Yeah, to appear more threatening than they would be otherwise. They show their teeth. Yeah, a frilled lizard brings the frill out all the way around its neck to look bigger. Yep, some frogs and snakes ward off predators using their scales and colors. Yeah, excellent. Abigail.
A skunk will do a little dance to tell a different animal that I'm gonna spray.
Yeah, even the spray itself is a kind of communication, isn't it? Audrey.
Well, birds are able to make a different warning call to warn other animals around that there
Yes.
could be possibly danger.
Excellent. Yes. So we can learn a lot by the way animals communicate with one another and the way they communicate with us. Think about the social structure of different animals. We'll learn about ants and bees and how they all have different jobs. They have a social structure, much like human population does. Dolphins cooperate with one another. They work together to hunt. And we can learn a lot by the different ways that animals communicate. How about this question? Do you guys think that animals feel emotions? Yeah, give me an example of a way that how you know that an animal is showing emotion. Cora? Oh, you have a thumbs up. I thought that was a hand up. Audrey.
One of my chickens, she actually lost all of her sisters, and after that, she always stayed in the coop and she never went out, and she always was a lot really skittish after that. So
She was grieving, wasn't she? Yeah, she was missing her sisters. Yeah. Dogs whining. When my sisters are gone, our dog will get sad. Yeah, crayfish is always pinching me. Hiss when they're angry. Cut your finger. Yeah. So you guys know the sadness of an animal when you're leaving, but they also have that joy when you come back home. They get real excited when you walk in the door. So dog will whine when my mom is gone. Yeah, they form attachments. So think about the different ways that animals interact with their environment, and think about how the way they interact with their environment is the same as we do or different than we do. And memory plays a role too in the way animals behave and the way they feel. Think about memory. What's an example of a way a pet might have a memory? Micah.
My pet crayfish knows how I look like.
How do you know?
Because whenever I walk by, it's always trying to pinch me inside its tank.
Yeah. Can dogs tell who their siblings are and children? Are you asking the question or telling me that they can? Yeah, dogs definitely can tell who their siblings are. And they identify, they recognize people, even people from a long time ago, they'll recognize. Miles.
Pigs have the brain of a 3-year-old, so they know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, that's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah. Abigail.
Dogs could like memorize your footsteps as you're walking through the sidewalk.
Yep. Anybody have a dog that recognizes the sound of your car when you come home? Yeah. Cats know the sound of the can opener. Yeah. Even fish remember that when a person walks by their tank, that person is likely to give them food and they swim to the front of the tank. Madison.
Do certain animals develop their brain after time, like humans do?
Almost all. Yeah, almost all animals develop over time. When they're born, they don't have the skills that they're going to have when they're, say, a year old or 2 years old, because they learn. So we'll learn this. A lot of animal behavior is instinctive. It's just inherent. They're born with that. For example, let's talk about a human baby. When a human baby's born, the human baby, if you put your finger in their hand like this, their hand will automatically close over it. Now, you don't do that anymore. If somebody touches you on your palm, you don't close your fist, but a newborn baby does. But over time, they'll learn to do different things with their hands. They'll learn how to pick things up. So yes, there will be some learning that happens. And those two things go together to make the adult animal, whether it's a person or any other kind of animal, who they are. Yep. All right. Excellent. Excellent. We talked a little bit about this already, animals interacting with other species. So let's talk about how animals might interact with humans. What are some good ways that wild animals interact with humans? Anybody think of a good one, a positive way? Food. Yeah, a lot of times people put bird feeders up and they'll feed their yard birds. Yep. Deer do learn not to cross the street. It always surprises me when I see deer standing right on the side of the road, but a lot of times they don't cross it. Now, sometimes they do. That's pretty sad. That's an example of a time when it's not a good interaction that humans have with animals. Yep. So flowers and butterflies. Yeah, we will talk about that a little bit, about the symbiosis between different animals. But for now, let's talk about animals and humans. What are some ways that humans are negatively impacting the animals that are out in the wild? Yep, pollution, junk food. Yep, yep. Good, excellent. So we need to pay a little bit of attention to some of that this year too, about ways that we are living that might not be helping the animals on the planet. The good news is that there's time. We haven't gotten to the point where anything is so bad that it can't be fixed anymore. Evangeline.
Going to say when we used to live in
Sorry, you're real quiet. Can you speak closer to your microphone?
I was just going to say that when we used to live in Boston, then there was always a sign saying that you shouldn't feed the geese.
Yeah.
Everyone always did, and that would make them sick sometimes because they would just feed them all these random things.
Right, right. Yeah, those signs are there for a reason. So that's an important thing. A lot of times people will throw bread for animals and the bread fills them up. It makes them full, so they don't then get the nutrients that they need. And if they have a diet that has a lot of bread in it, then they can actually be malnourished even though they're full. Yeah, pretty crazy. Good point. So if you see those signs, pay attention to them. They're not there to take away your fun. They're there to protect the animals. All right, excellent. All right, hold on here. Let me see here what we're going to do today. So I have a couple of fun animal facts for you guys. I thought we could talk about a few just unusual things about animals. This is a camel. This is a two-humped camel. Anybody know what a two-humped camel is called, what the official name is? Any camel experts in the group? It's called a Bactrian camel. And they can drink up to 50 liters of water. So one of those big soda bottles, the 2-liter bottles? They can drink 25 of those at the same time. And camels are really an unusual animal because they love water so much, they will even drink salty water. And there aren't a lot of animals that do that. Yeah. All right, camels around where I live. I'm in the Middle East. Jaslyn, that's so cool. So you see animals out in the wild? Are they owned by people or do they kind of wander?
Well, I mean, the most common animal you can see around here is stray cats. But
Yeah.
if you go out to the desert, then you might be able to find things like that. There's camel riding, horse riding, things like that. So.
Oh, that's fun. That's very fun. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So even a mantis can hiss. Yep. Yep. They are pretty cool. So there, Miles put up a camel for us. Yeah. So like I said, camels are unusual because they drink salty water. Even dolphins and whales don't drink the water that they live in. They get their water from the food that they eat. They can't tolerate the salt that's in the water, but camels can. All right, here's one. Anybody know what color a polar bear's hair is? Rita.
White.
It looks white, but it's actually not. A couple of people are saying
Isn't it pink?
It is clear. It is transparent. So it's clear. It's colorless. Doesn't have any color at all. it looks white because it reflects the light. Their strands are hollow, and those hollow strands of the hair reflect the light, and that's what makes them look like they're white. But if you looked at one hair under a microscope, you would see that it is clear. It doesn't have any pigment at all in it. What about the skin of a polar bear? What color is their skin, Lydia?
Is it black?
It is black. Any idea why? How does it help them to have black skin under their white fur?
So they can hunt in the dark?
No, because it really doesn't show. It's completely covered up by all that fur. Miles.
Black absorbs heat so they can stay warm.
That's exactly right. It helps them to soak up those warm rays of the sun in the Arctic where they live, where it's so cold. So yeah, it's a very definite advantage for them to have that white fur that reflects the light, as well as the black skin that absorbs the sun's rays. All right, here's another one. This is a chameleon. A chameleon's tongue is as long as its body, and it can shoot that tongue out in just a fraction of a second. This is a slow motion picture here, video of the tongue of that chameleon. Imagine if your tongue was as long as your body. Just you could sit across the room and you wouldn't have to get up and go to the counter to get a cookie. You could just stick your tongue out and grab it from across the room. Yeah, a little bit weird. All right, how about this one? Which big cat has the loudest sound? Bastion.
Isn't it a mountain lion or tiger?
Not a tiger, not a mountain lion. Yeah, JR's got it. It is a lion. So let's listen to the sound. Oh, I got to turn this off. Hold on. There we go. It is a lion. So there's a kind of a cool reason that lions have a really loud roar, much louder than any other of the big cats. Lions can get to be as loud as a chainsaw, and you can hear them as much as 5 miles away. So that's like getting in your car, driving 60 miles an hour for 5 minutes, right? That's how far away 5 miles is. Now, if the reason is because of the shape of its voice box. So put your hand on your throat right here and kind of make a humming sound. And you can feel the vibration. That vibration is air moving through your voice box. The shape of your voice box is a little bit kind of rounded, and it has flaps that open and close like this. Well, the shape of a lion's voice box is square and flat. That square, flat shape allows air to move through much easier and faster, giving a lion a much louder roar than any other big cat. Audrey.
They have a loud roar because their territory is like huge.
Yeah.
And so usually the roar kind of helps them, say, this is my territory.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good thing for them that they have that that territory, that big roar. All right, here we go. Have you guys ever heard that a starfish can be cut in equal pieces and it'll regrow itself?
Yes.
Okay, but there's a condition. There's a condition for that. Anybody want to know what the condition is? Bastion?
Can't they regrow it?
They can, but not a condition. And Jaslyn, some lizards can regrow their tails, but not all. Some kinds are not able to regrow their tail. So anybody know what the condition is, what the catch is to a starfish? Actually, the correct term is sea star because it's not a fish. So take a look at a drawing here that shows the anatomy of a sea star. See this central canal right here, this central ring canal? If a starfish gets cut, each piece can regrow, but only if it has part of this central disc, this central ring canal. If you just cut off the end right here, this part won't grow back. It won't grow into another sea star. If you cut this into equal pieces and they each had a little bit of this, that central ring would direct the growth and they would be able to regrow all of those. Yeah, pretty cool. Anybody know what a rhino's horn is made of? Lydia.
Is it the same stuff that our fingernails are made of?
So yes, it is keratin. It's the same stuff that our fingernails and our hair is made of. Horses' hoofs, feathers, the plasticky part of the inside of a feather, that's made of keratin. Scales that you find on scaly animals, claws on a lot of animals are all made of the same substance. It's a kind of a protein that's called keratin. So a rhinoceros's horn is not made of bone. A lot of people think that's bone, but it's not. It's compacted hair. If you took right here and looked at it at a cut right through there under a microscope, this is what it would look like. Each of these is a hair and they're all compacted together. Cool. Yep. Scales hurt. Well, depends. Depends. All right, here's another fun one. Hermit crabs. The way hermit crabs drink water. Anybody ever had a hermit crab? No, it's a pretty common pet. They don't stick their mouth in the water. They dip their claws into the water and scoop water into their mouths. Imagine if that's how you had to drink, scooping the water into your mouth. Let's watch. See how it's scooping the water and pulling it right up to its mouth. It does look like it's kind of flicking it, but yeah. All right. We're going to end today with a cute little video of an elephant watching a guy playing a drum. I know, just like any child, right? Mine. Give me a chance. I want to try that. It did really like it. Yeah, I love that. I love interactions between animals and people. It is really fun. All right. You can't hear it? Can anybody hear that? You guys weren't all right. I'm gonna hold on. I want you to hear it. So let me do it again. I'll turn up the sound. Okay. Hey, what are you doing? Pretty cool. Animals are the best. I'm so excited to be learning all about zoology with you guys. And so for next time, for this first class, I let the conversation just go. In the future, I'm going to limit the chat to just what we're talking about rather than a lot of conversation because it gets distracting and I lose track of the questions people ask if you guys are all chatting with one another. So I'll ask you to limit it just to what we're talking about. If that becomes a problem, then I'll just shut the chat down altogether. I don't want to have to do that. So anybody have any questions about today? All right, well, if you do, you can always send them my way. If not, I will see you same time next week. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. Thanks everybody for coming. Very nice meeting you. I think this is
Bye.
a fun class.
Bye.
Bye.
See Miles at the gym today. Bye, Miles.
Bye.
Bye. See you at the gym. Yeah.